Namaste, this is JVN Dr. Vishal Saxena, Associate Professor in Mathematics in Jayoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today I am going to discuss on the module applications and limitations of the subject game theory. This module is a part of the course Operation Research and under the program of Bachelor of Business Administration BBA 6th semester and Bachelor of Business Administration with Law integrated course BBA LLB 6th semester of the university. The today's session of the application and the limitation part of the game theory, and as all we know that game theory is a very important tool and a technique model of the subject course Operation Research, and this game theory just provide the applications in various fields like business, economics and other fields also, and it will provide a competitive strategy and competitive nature just for the players, and that's why just it is also applicable in the business field where the two or more firms having this kind of just have the competitive feeling there in business, and if they apply the model of the game theory, then their profit can be just improved, and that's why just the game theory is an important model of Operation Research, and game theory just finds the various other applications and limitations also as similar to various different models. So game theory is also having some limitations, some drawbacks, and in the today's session we are discussing about that what are the limitations, what are the applications of game theory, and along with some related important definition parts will be discussed, and for just this we are going to share some slides to explain these concepts in more better way, and just to point wise we want to explain all the things, all the required application parts and the limitation parts of this model, and just that's why just we are going to share some slides. So we take these slides, and initially the application part is given that the game theory can be applied to decide the best course in conflicting situations. So just as already we have explained that game theory is a very important model and is applicable to decide the best course in conflicting situations, means when the two situations are not just in favor to each other, these are in conflictions, then the game theory model can be applied, and it can be applied to find out the best course, to find the best course in business decisions. It has wider possibilities. With the help of computer, large number of independent variables can be considered with mathematical accuracy. So just as we take the part of the game theory, and when it can be just taken on computer, then many large number of independent variables will come there, and therefore just mathematical accuracy is required, and that's why just we can use the computer language also, and some main advantages of this game theory can be seen here. First, the game theory provides a systematic quantitative approach for deciding the best strategy in the competitive situations. So the main objective of the game theory that is that it provides it provides a systematic and quantitative approach and to decide the best strategy in competitive situations. It also provides a framework for the competitors' reactions to the firm actions. So this game theory will provide the framework for the competitors' reactions in the firm reactions, and the game theory is also helpful for the handling the situation of independence of the firms. So when we talk about the independence of firms, then the game theory can be applied in that kind of situations where the firms are independent and we have to just find our objectives for that firm or for the organizations. Game theory is a management device which helps rational decision making. So this is a very important point that game theory model is applicable or can be used as a management tool, and with this model, this tool will help rational decision making. So it means in the complete decision making, in the rational decision making, it can be used. Now there are some limitations of this game theory model, and what are the game theory model limitations. Now we discuss about that. As a number of first and the very important drawback, the limitation is that when the number of players in the game theory increases, then the game will be difficult and the solution to find the solution of the game will be much more difficult, and that is similar to the business in the business example. As the number of players increases in the actual business, the game theory becomes more difficult. So when the business competitors will be increased, then definitely the approach of the game theory will be difficult to see the solution of that game, and it simply provides a general rule of logic, not the winning strategy. The next limitation of the game theory model is that just it gives a general rule, and it will not provide us a winning strategy or just the winning part of the winning concept of the game. Just it provides us only general logic of the game. And next point of the limitation part is that there is much uncertainty in the actual field of business, which cannot be considered in the game theory. Just as all we know that this game theory is applicable in the field of the business, but in the field of business there are much more uncertainties, and the game theory model is just not contains all these kind of uncertainties, so just which cannot be considered in the game theory. So these kind of uncertainties will not be just considered in the game theory, and that is a very important drawback, limitation of the game theory. Businessmen do not have adequate knowledge for the game theory. Actually, game theory is a kind of the model and just a part of the operation research, and having the when a player want to play the game theory model, then he should know he should know the knowledge of the game theory. But the businessman is not or they don't have the knowledge of the game theory model, and that's why it will be difficult to apply for a general businessman to just in the business to apply the game theory. Now we discuss about some more things, some more characteristics of the game theory which are very important when we just discuss about the modeling of the game theory and the how to play the game, how to find the solution of the game. So first characteristic is that the competitive game. A competitive situation is known as the competitive game, and if it has the four kind of the properties, and there are the limited number of first is that there are limited number of competitors such that n is greater than or equal to 2. In the case of n is equal to 2, that is known as the 2-person zero game, and when the number of players are greater than to 2, then it is called suppose there are n players in the game, then it is called n person game. So there are limited number of competitors, and the second characteristic is that the second characteristic can be taken as each player has a record of finite number of possible actions. So that is every player in the game will have a record of finite number of possible actions, and next is that a play is said to take place when each player selects one of his activities. The choices are supposed to be made simultaneously, that is, no player knows the selection of the other until he has chosen on his own. So that is very important point, that a player will be is said to takes place when each player selects one of his activity, and the choices are supposed to be made simultaneously. So the choices of the player just will be assumed and to be made in the simultaneous order, and that means no player knows the selection of the other until or unless he has chosen his own on his own. Next and the last characteristic, every combination of activities finds out an outcome which results in a gain of payments to every player, provided each player is playing openly to get as much as possible, and negative gain means the loss of the same amount. So that means every combination of activities find out an outcome which results in a gain of the payments to every player, and provided each player is playing openly to get as much as possible. But the negative gain, in a game theory, a negative gain is also possible, and which means the loss of the same amount to a player. Now next is the strategy. The strategy of a player is the determined rule by which the player chooses his strategy from his own list during the game. And the two types of the strategy are, so the strategy can be taken as a determined rule by which player chooses his strategy from his own own list during the game, and this strategy can be divided into two parts, pure strategy and mixed strategy. In the pure strategy, just the probability rule will not be followed, while in the mixed strategy it can be used. So in the pure strategy, if a player knows precisely what another player is going to do, a deterministic condition is achieved and objective function is to maximize the profit. Thus the pure strategy is a decision rule always to choose a particular strategy. So in the pure strategy, a decision rule always to choose a particular kind of strategy, and in this pure strategy a player knows precisely what another player is going to do, and a deterministic condition is achieved and objective function can be maximized to the profit. While in the mixed strategy, if a player is guessing as to which action is to be chosen by the other on any particular instance, a probabilistic condition is achieved and objective function is to maximize the expected profit. So that is a very important part, means in which the probabilistic condition will be achieved, and the players will see that the probabilistic part, the probability concept will come there. So uncertainty is there, and if a player is guessing as to which action is to be chosen by the other on any particular instance, a probabilistic condition is achieved, and definitely because he does not know what kind of the action will be taken by the other player, and in that way the objective function is to maximize is achieved, and the objective function is to maximize the expected profit. Hence the mixed strategy is a choice among the pure strategies with fixed probabilities. So in that way the mixed strategy can be taken as a choice among the pure strategies and with fixed probabilities. So we have seen in the today's session some just important applications of the game theory and their limitations of the game theory. So a game theory is a very important and useful model, and important for the business field also, and the knowledge of game theory is required for a businessman and for a business expert to make his profit more and maximum. And now students are advised to prepare this topic, this session completely, and take objective as well as subjective questions for their examinations, as well as